Oh.
You ever done something that you totally regret, knowing full well the consequences of your actions?
Can you provide a more specific example?
I knew we were going to record a podcast tonight, and I decided to take 3 pills of Tylenol PM regardless.
Well, yeah, it's because you knew who we were talking about. You were like, I need to keep my blood pressure under control tonight, so I'm going to just pop some pills here. I'm going to do the illegal thing and pop some pills.
Yes, because if I was allowed to speak my mind freely on this character, I would wake up my mom.
He would literally have an aneurysm in his chair. You guys would hear his death live on tape.
Well, not really live. We don't do these live, but
It's like, back in like the fucking like 60s when like a radio host would be just like chilling and like doing his radio thing, and then some like madman with a gun would come in and like shoot him live on air.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
It'd be like that, but it'd be in podcast form. And instead of the world going silent and it being a tragedy, everyone would applaud because it's one less podcaster in the world.
Implying that we're bad podcasters?
Just implying that podcasters are looked down on society in general.
I thought that was the commentary community.
No. Well, yeah, those guys too. Because it's essentially the same thing. It's just fucking noise. But, you see, the problem with podcasting, and we are a very good example, is that fucking anyone can just do one.
Oh, are they as bad as reaction videos?
Mm,
People who make a living of nothing but doing reaction videos.
I mean, I like when my favorite channels react to stuff.
Well, I know that,
But,
but
yeah.
I'm talking about like legitimate channels that only do nothing but react to things.
Only react content. There's a few channels that I am actually subscribed to that are like that, but they also do their own content on the side.
Mhm.
But like the majority of their stuff is react or let's play.
Right?
So, but
Kind of like what Etika was.
and
May
what
he
is
rest in
what
peace.
is a let's play if not also a react video?
Pretty much. But at least in Let's Plays, you actually get to see the people play the games.
True.
I realize how bad Mark is actually. Actually, Mark is actually pretty good at Resident Evil, but he's playing on normal mode. I have not seen Mark play Resident Evil like 2 or 3 on professional mode, compared to Maximilian, who is a fucking mad lad.
Well, yeah. I mean, didn't Mark play in like the hardest difficulty he had the option to play? Because you got to beat the game once before you can get like the actual hard difficulty, right?
No, you can go straight into professional mode,
Oh, really?
because that's what Max did. He went straight into professional mode, and he had no idea what the hell he was doing.
Yeah,
That's why-
Max is a gamer though. So
Mark's a content creator. Max is a gamer.
Mark says, "Do it for the content. Just don't make it too difficult to actually like make the content."
Right.
Max is a streamer. Max is doing it for the content without regard for if it's going to take him too long, because he literally uploads like 7-hour fucking VODs to YouTube after he's done.
And I love that shit. I
Yeah.
love bitching that shit.
Hell yeah, brother. Welcome to Nonstop Debate. We took 3.5 minutes before we introduced the show because we don't have anything else to talk about today.
Yeah.
Nothing important,
No.
anyways.
See, and I'm all medicated up, so I'm all chill right now
Yeah, buddy. It's gonna be a good night.
because I don't want to be like Dustin and have a stroke every single time he speaks very violently and angry.
He does, doesn't he? He always has so much passion behind everything he says. It's funny.
Right?
Funny in a good way.
Mhm.
Because he just sounds so like angry all the time.
You know when Dustin's having a good time when he starts making random monkey noises.
Doesn't he do that all the time anyway?
No, there's a difference because then random monkey noises or constant swearing are two different things.
I'm gonna say it. This is gonna be a hot take, right? This is gonna be super controversial. We might get canceled for this. I think Dustin could have saved Harambe.
But why is the first thing that came to my mind is literally Dustin being like, "All right, I'm gonna go save Harambe." Reloads shotgun with malicious intent.
It's like the Moon's Haunted meme where it's like Dustin walks in, it's like, "Hey man, what's up?" And he's just like, "I'm gonna save Harambe," and you're like, "What?" He like loads a clip into his gun. He's like, "I'm gonna save Harambe," and then he just leaves.
I'm just gonna save him. I'm just gonna save him.
I just want to talk to him. Dustin on his way to the house of the guy who killed Harambe. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
I'm just gonna shoot him.
God. Also, I just want to say that my mic sounded like absolute shit in the last episode, and that is because my microphone somehow got unplugged. And I plugged it back in before we started recording, and for some reason I thought it would default back to my normal microphone, and instead it stayed on my shitty headset microphone, and I didn't realize until after the recording was done, and there was nothing I could do about it, so I'm very sorry for the constant little that was in, like, pretty much the entire video.
We blame his cat.
I don't think it was my cat. I think I unplugged it somewhere along the line for some reason.
I'm blaming his cat.
I have no idea why I would have unplugged it, to be completely honest.
If we're not blaming your cat, I'm blaming your cat.
Dude, I unplugged it like months ago to play a game on my computer with a friend that we needed to plug controllers in for, so I needed the USB slot. And right. I'm wondering if it's been unplugged this whole time and I never realized, and the whole time I was talking to you guys was through my headset mic and I never noticed. Holy shit.
I don't know. I'm barely awake.
Dude. Yeah, who knows?
I am fighting sleep medication like the plague right now, so.
Thank God. Alright, well, let's get started then, unfortunately. We were talking about Hiyoko Saionji today.
I like to call her my nickname, but I'm pretty sure I can't say it on YouTube, so we're just going to call her Thunder Bitch instead.
I'm playing it up for the joke, but we do actually despise this character. She's probably the only character in the entire game series that we just don't like at all.
When she died, I verbally said, thank fuck.
Not only is she like a bitch as a character, and like some people like the bitch characters, that's fine, but even like from a writing standpoint, she doesn't have like anything going on for her at all.
Right.
Which is kind of a running theme with some of the characters in this game, unfortunately, is that they just have nothing happening with their characters.
And you know what's funny? I know people are going to be like, just read her backstory. You know what? I actually, the entire day, not the entire day, I spent a little bit part of my day watching her free time events. Mm-hmm. She's just like Fuyuhiko's backstory, but worse.
Well,
like,
there you have it.
Her backstory is literally like, oh yeah, I've been targeted for assassination, but my assassinations were never so serious. Like, I get spiders in my shoes, or I get caught into like a tickle trap or some shit like that. That
doesn't sound like someone's trying to kill her. That sounds like Kokichi is trying to torment her.
Proof that Kokichi is actually...
That is literally some Kokichi Oma ass shit.
Yep.
God.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, that's my entire family has been trying to be assassinated, and I'm the heiress to... And I'm like, but you have no reason to be a bitch, do you?
Yeah. Like, alright, dude, whatever. That does not sound like someone's trying to kill her to me. Which is very surprising, considering who she is.
Fuck, if I saw her in public, I would...
Like, shit, man, what kind of assassins are after you? I'm about to take over their job. What's the bounty? Hold up. I'm about to retire at 27, bro. Let's go. God. Design-wise, I will say she's got an okay design.
She stands out.
She definitely stands out. She's got an alright color palette.
She's like one of the 3 midget characters in the entire franchise. And her...
I would say she stands out more than all of them.
Yeah.
Because, like, Ryoma's got the pointy hat, and, they're easy to pick out, all of them, but, like, I'd say Hiyoko's, like, the most noticeable because she's got such big fucking banana-shaped hair.
Right.
So.
And yeah, of course, Himiko has her hat, but...
Yeah, funny enough, I don't have a problem with Hiyoko's design, funny enough. It's just literally, like, everything else about her I don't like.
So. You learn everything you need to know about Hiyoko from her first fucking interaction in the entire game.
And like I said a minute ago, it's okay to like bitch characters. I mean, fuck. Look at Total Drama Island. Heather is a fan favorite, and she's a mega bitch.
Well, it's because you would love to see Heather fail.
Yeah. And
But when
she does
succeed,
eventually
she succeed.
fail at the end,
Yeah.
but she also
But-
has a season later on. She comes back all the time because she's a fan favorite character.
Mhm.
And I don't remember which season it was. I think it's World Tour, but she does win one of the total dramas.
Right.
So, I mean, you know.
At least when she wins, her felt like her victories were earned.
That's a little different, though. It's not an entirely fair comparison because they're two completely different things, but these are similar characters. And, like,
Right.
Heather was a bitch, but she had a point to being a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
She was the high school mean girl, and she was actually very smart and methodical, and she manipulated, and her entire goal was, we're not here to make friends, we're here to play the game. And she was out to fucking win. And
Right.
I respected that. And that's why, like, I hated her, but I didn't like... It was like a love-to-hate kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, she was
Yeah.
the villain that I was rooting for, like, the other characters to overcome in the end.
Props to my main man Owen for the first season.
Yeah. You know, technically, Owen and Gwen both won the first season. There's, like, two separate endings. There's an ending where Owen won, and there's an ending where Gwen won.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I didn't actually know that, because I rewatched it some time back, and Gwen
Was
won.
it?
And I was like, yeah, or no, not Gwen, Owen won. And I was like, I could have swore Gwen won. And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, there's two endings to the first season where Owen and Gwen both win.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, fuck yeah. But the point I'm coming to, though, is that she has a point to being a bitch, and Hiyoko doesn't. Not really.
You're vicious for no fucking reason. It just decides to be fucking vicious.
Yeah. We'll get to that more in a minute when we get to her personality. She is a castmate. She's not a blackened. She fucking gets framed for it a couple times, funny enough. Yeah. Not a blackened, not a protag, not an ally. She's just there to die.
Right.
Thank God. Her death, satisfying. If only for the fact that she's finally fucking dead.
How could you guys be so mean? Fuck this bitch, man. Fuck her.
I hate this character. Not even
Oh
in a
my
love-to-hate way. Like, I legitimately was like, oh, thank God she's gone.
Where, like, she contributes nothing. She contributes nothing to arguments. I think you could say
Most of her dialogue is just bullying other characters.
After they're spoiling Mikon.
Yeah. It's either Mikon or it's Hajime, and she occasionally has, like, one or two comments directed at other characters, but it's mostly just Mikon and Hajime.
I mean, as far as shit starters go, she's fucking... There's a type of character I like to call the shit starters, so the people who are intentionally there who have nothing to say. So that instead of contributing anything smart to the conversations, they just start shit for no reason, just to try to derail the conversation for no apparent reason. To start, just to throw hands with somebody because either they're being ignored or they feel like they're too dumb. Prominent example is Miuruma because oh my god, does she throw shit?
Yeah, Miyu is constantly fucking slapping people around, and I love it.
Right. But the problem is, the thing about Mikon is that she always like punches everyone. That includes punching up. Literally, Hiyoko targets the weakest person in the entire thing and continuously punches down. And then, but when you call her out on it, she cries and fucking. Can I calm down?
I mean, Miyu is kind of the same way, but Miyu is fun at least, and she has other aspects of her character, and she's more important.
Yep. And not to mention when people call her out on her shit.
Yeah, Hiyoko just, like, is a bitch and mean and vicious, and the second anyone stands up to her, even if it's a little bit, she immediately claims, like, calls victim.
Right.
And it's just like, shut up. And, again, I feel like I wouldn't have as much a problem with it if there was a point to her character being like this, or if she was important to the story in any way, but by the time she's dead... There's just you're just glad she's gone.
She literally learned nothing.
She does not change. And like I said at the beginning, this is a problem that a lot of characters in this game have. Kane. Yeah. She doesn't have anything to offer to the story other than to just be mean and then die.
Yeah.
Like I said with Heather, if there was a point in the story to her being like this, it like maybe she's selfish, and she's like, oh, this is a killing game? Well, I'm going to aim to be the last girl standing because the rest of you are all fucking idiots. Like, I'd be down with that. That makes sense. She has a clear goal in mind. She's not just mean, you know?
Right. It's the Kokichi aspect. The people who are...
Yeah.
People. It's literally... Heather is more like Togami.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Togami's even a good example because he was also kind of a dickhead in Danganronpa 1, but he was doing it for the purpose of winning the game because he understood with the Heather mentality. He's like, we're not here to be friends, we're here to survive.
Right.
And if that means I have to be better than the rest of you idiots, then I'm going to have to fucking do that.
Right.
So.
It makes a good, interesting antagonist to, like, the group dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Hiyoko is not an antagonist. She's a nuisance.
She's just, she's not involved in, like, any of the main story stuff other than just being present.
Mm-hmm. Which could be said a lot about, like, a lot of other characters.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There isn't much to talk about with her death. We already pretty much covered it anyways in the last episode with Ibuki. She gets killed after Ibuki does because she just happens to stumble in on Mikon dealing with Ibuki's body, and Mikon's just like, oh, gotta kill you now too. She literally that fucking Santa Claus commercial where she's just like, no witnesses, pulls out a silenced pistol, just fucking kills her right there. But it's framed up to look like that she just fucking died before you discover her body, even though she didn't. She was already dead. I think the whole wallpaper thing to hide her body is kind of funny, because it's like, so you just wrap that pillar in, like, wallpaper to make it look like it was just the pillar? I'm like, wouldn't that still look kind of funky, though? Like,
to be fair, the only witness to the Ibuki by herself was Hajime, and only Hajime, so...
Yeah. Like, I feel like it's a solid idea for a murder, to really, like, throw people off like that. I just think the execution is a bit wonky, especially with the whole, like, time constraints of Mikon basically having to be
this
in, like,
entire
two
case
places
could be
at once.
described as wonky.
Yeah. It's a rough chapter. Like, I remember looking back at the details and just being like, I think it's definitely doable. It's just a bit of a stretch for Mikon specifically.
Right.
Like, if it was anyone other than Mikon, they could probably do it, even if the timing is tight. But having Mikon be the killer on top of her being super clumsy, you're telling me that she did that? Like, that's what makes it a little unbelievable for people.
Right. And the anime loves the retcon thing, so if you have the context of the anime looking back, it gets really fucked.
The clumsiness never really, like, comes up again after, like, Chapter 2 with Mikon, other than in the anime, but I think the insinuation is that when she's despaired, she doesn't, like, have that clumsiness.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's never, like, explicitly stated or, like, explained in any way. It's just kind of like when she's despaired, she never has the issue of tripping over her own fucking feet.
So silly, so stupid. Anyway, fucking Hiyoko. Like I said, when I saw her, like, hanging there, I was like, thank fuck we don't have to deal with her anymore. Oh my god.
Yeah. I think I said it in the last episode. It's like, you see Ibuki first and you're like, no! And then you look over and see Hiyoko and you're like, I will take this trade.
Did you do it? It shows Hiyoko dead? Yes. What did it cost? Everything.
Everything. Yeah. It's super true,
like,
dude.
Problem is you don't want a character... Like, when someone dies, like, I think that was the only character I was like, thank fuck they're dead.
Yeah.
I mean, I said thank fuck Ufume's dead, but that was more like an ironic thing, where...
I think I also said that for Nekomaru, because it just got ridiculous how often he came back.
Oh yeah, Nekomaru's completely absent this entire case, by the way.
Yeah, because at the end of Chapter 2, he got fucking almost
Super
dead.
Yep.
So, yeah. We'll get to him next chapter. But, now we're on the fun part. Personality.
Oh, boy.
Spoiler alert.
Everyone spells it out with
great.
a C to the U to the N to the T.
Like we said already, she's just mean for the sake of being mean. Even this fucking assassin story you were saying doesn't really, like... That doesn't explain why she's such a bitch.
Like, it's supposed to be like, well, I'm naturally paranoid, so I gotta be mean to everyone. Correlation? What?
There's no correlation there. I mean, if anything, being mean to everybody is just gonna make everyone fucking hate you.
Look at Maki.
Yeah.
Like, Maki's not mean, she's distant. There's a difference.
Yeah, there's a big difference. And Maki's, like, got that same, not motivation. She's got the same reasoning. Like, I can't trust anybody. So if I'm just distant, then I'm, it's easier for me to, like, be distrustful.
Mm-hmm.
Hiyoko is saying, I can't trust anybody, so I'm just going to be a huge bitch. Fuck all of y'all. Like, that's different. It's very different. And it makes for a much less enjoyable character. I've seen people out there say they like Hiyoko just because she's mean to Mikan. It's like, what the fuck did Mikan do to you?
Yeah.
Mikan's actually an enjoyable character. She's quirky. She's got the funny fall down trip stuff. Maybe she's there just for fan servicey type stuff, but I don't know. She's also helpful during investigations because she does the autopsies. Like,
she's a pure cinnamon roll that they wanted her to fly.
Yeah, Mikan, that's what makes her twist of being the killer all the more surprising. And it's like the first major clue to all of you being ultimate despairs. Like, Mikan is way more important to all of Danganronpa 2 than Hiyoko is. You could literally just take Hiyoko out of this story, and the only thing you miss is an extra kill in Chapter 3.
Right.
And you could just easily put a different character in that slot, like Sonya, or Akane.
Nekomaru.
Or Nekomaru, yeah, since he was already fucking dead at the end of Chapter 2 anyway.
And he comes back briefly in Chapter 4, and you're immediately like, well, you're not going to stay long.
Yeah, man.
You're not alive for this world, buddy.
It just makes me mad. This whole character makes me mad.
Nekomaru or Hiyoko?
Hiyoko. I've got issues with Nekomaru too, but he's got something about him that's interesting and fun.
Eat, fight, and take a good shit.
Yeah. Oh, God.
But it's like the problem with Hiyoko is like her personality-wise, literally fucking...
It's like her biggest problem, honestly. Because like we've been saying, she's just mean for no reason.
It would be fine if she learned something, if she was able to grow. But she, like, instead of learning something after Chapter 2, she just fucking doubles down.
She just doubles down on being the same character. There's no growth.
Right.
You can appreciate her being a bitch at the start if you know that she's going to change by the end of it. Right. And even, like, a lot of the time, like, Danganronpa 1 does this great. Tenko's a perfect example. Because Tenko is very much a Hiyoko-type character, but by the end of her time in V3, she is totally softened up. She's not
and they
mean.
Died around the same time, too.
Yeah. She literally are both the second murders in both chapters, respectively. So, I mean, like, Tenko learns, and you see her evolve throughout the first 3 chapters, and then by the time that she's about to die, she's, like, very caring. She's willing to sacrifice her friendship, her relationships for the safety of the people she cares about. Like,
right.
And of all people she goes to for help, it's you, Shuichi. She goes to Shuichi for help. When at the beginning of the game, she literally called him a degenerate male and told him to get bent. Like, that's character development. That's growth. And there is none of that with Hiyoko. She's just a bitch. She gets her moment in Chapter 2 with Mahiru, and then gets framed for Mahiru's murder.
Right.
And she still does not change. She is the exact same, if not worse, in the next chapter, right before she fucking dies.
I mean, I give her a pass when it was, like, during the Mahiru, when she was, like, the prime suspect. Yeah, of course, she's, like, a spoiled brat type character.
She's gonna lash out at everyone else, call them all stupid because they don't believe her.
And then, like, break down into tears of crying. I get that. But then she just continues to double down. Like, oh my God, learn something. Take a hint and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, you are not helping your case. You will literally, I would have executed you myself. I swear to God, I would literally shot her in the head and be like, hey guys, I did it. Just fucking kill me, please.
Right? I would have been like, yo, I'm the black and it was me. Take me in, boys. Because then you get to kill Hiyoko, and you get to give Monokuma the middle finger because he doesn't get any enjoyment out of the trial, you know?
Right.
You just get executed for the sake of getting executed. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Just literally, like I keep saying, I'm like, I literally want to powerbomb this character. It's bad. It's very, very bad. Like, it's...
Which is honestly probably the only character I feel this way about.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I do kind of feel this way about Kyo also.
I feel like Yo was taken into a weird direction. He had some cool things going.
Yeah, he had cool stuff going on, but yeah, the end of his character development is just like, oh, we shot up into a very different angle.
We crashed and burned
Yeah.
with Kyo. Hiyoko literally was just like, okay, we're at ground level, and somehow we have cratered.
Yeah.
We're literally standing still at the ground.
Hiyoko started...
You have no expectation.
Like, the image of Yamcha being in the crater from Dragon Ball Z, that's where Hiyoko started, and she somehow ended up in a worse spot than that by the end of it.
Yeah, it's like... Fucking... It's like...
I don't even think Joey had any enjoyment out of this character.
Yeah, no, he literally continued on playing the game because Ibuki died. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Then he saw Hiyoko die. He's like, all right, fine. I guess we'll continue.
He saw Ibuki dead. He's like, I can't go on. He saw Hiyoko dead. He's like, I can't let Ibuki's sacrifice be in vain. God.
Again, I said there's nothing redeeming. There's nothing redeeming about this character.
Yeah.
Not at all.
We're going to get into more detail about it here in a bit when we get to how well she was written, because I think that's where the meat of this conversation is going anyways, but first we need to do ego theater. So we will see you guys in a minute.
And now it's time for ego theater.
Have you ever had a moment where you thought about going postal, Dylan?
Are we really going to talk about the game Postal right now?
Maybe.
Continue.
Continue. Yes, why not? Because I have had that moment with a couple moments in games where I just let me kill everyone, please, for the love of God. Yoko's one of those characters. Just let me get this over with as fast as humanly possible.
Ironically enough, it's funny you say that, because the answer I have is oddly fitting to the question you're asking. Doom 2016. I tried playing Doom 2016, and I stopped playing it after a while, and you want to know why?
Why?
Because all I wanted to do was kill shit, and there are so many moments in that game where they make you stop, and they lock you in a room and make you listen to people talk. And I was like, dude, I don't give a shit what you've got to say, let me go shoot things. And after like the 4th or 5th time, I was like, alright, I can't deal with this right now, and I took a break from the game when I hit a good stopping point, and I have not gone back to it since, because every time I think about it, I'm like, but they're just gonna stop me every 15 minutes to give me more story junk I don't give a shit about, you know?
Well, we're thinking about the same Doom?
Yes.
Well,
unless you're thinking about Doom Eternal. I'm sure Doom Eternal is a lot more like streamlined. It just lets you get into the action, but Doom 2016 stopped me a lot to make me listen to story
Doom Eternal
shit.
stops you more than Doom 2016. What are you talking about?
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy. I mean, Half-Life 1 and 2 does the same thing also, but like, I don't know.
I was always a big fan of playing Doom, and then after I clear out like a big room, the first thing I do is like, alright, now let's go explore every nook and cranny because I want a fucking action figure, man.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't do that. I just wanted to progress. I'm not a big like secret hunter. If I stumble on secrets, I'll be like, oh, this is cool, but I usually don't go looking for them, which I regret a lot of the time, especially because like I think my biggest regret is probably Deltarune Chapter 2. I didn't get to experience Spamton Neo fresh. I had to watch it in a video after I finished the game, because I didn't bother to go back to the shop and get the shit for it. So, But, you miss out on cool shit like that, but...
You could get weapons early. Like, you could get the plasma rifle at the very first level. You know that, right? In Doom 2016.
Know that.
Yes, if you explore, you can actually get the plasma rifle right off the bat. Like, after, like, the second major, like, encounter.
Yeah. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. I do remember it stopping me, like, at least 2 or 3 times in the first, like, 3 or 4 hours of the game, and I was just like, man, I just want to go shoot things.
Well, it doesn't stop you for long. It stops you for, like, 2 minutes. I think
yeah, but that's 2 minutes that I'm sitting there right after killing a bunch of enemies, and I'm just like, okay, I don't give a shit about your satellite, dude. There's demons here. Did you not see me kill them on the way in? Like, it wouldn't be so bad if it would just let me leave. Like, let the story stuff be, like, skippable, right?
Yeah.
Like, you walk into a room, TV turns on, the commander dude is like, oh, here's what's happening, Doomslayer. And then the door's, like, still unlocked, so you can just leave if you want and just keep progressing into the next room and killing things.
Right.
But they literally step into a small room, and the door shuts behind you. And it doesn't even trigger a cutscene, it's just like a screen on the wall next to you. It just starts talking to you, and you're just walking around this room with nothing to examine or, like, interact with, and you're just, like, waiting for him to stop talking.
That is the one and only time the game does that. It doesn't stop after that. I don't know what you're smoking.
Maybe I ran into some secret shit. I don't fucking know, dude. I know it was more than once.
No, because it only stopped you after that for boss introductions, and those were like 3 seconds long. You might be remembering something completely different.
No, I'm definitely thinking of Doom. I don't know.
I still think you and Dustin need to play Postal 2. I just want to see you guys try to do mundane chores without fucking.
Bro, Dustin literally lives Postal 2. What are you talking about?
I know. That's why like a let's play of Dustin playing Postal 2 would be fucking funny as shit.
Dude, he wouldn't have any fun playing that game. That's literally a Monday for him. There's like several mailmen that come to his house because he kills everyone that comes to his house that he catches.
Right.
Each guy that delivers mail to Dustin's house does so in fear because he knows he very well may lose his life that day.
Does he use a cat as a silencer, though?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
Because I tried playing.
Would it surprise you if he did?
Yeah. I mean, I played on one of the harder difficulties of Postal 2. I didn't play on the everyone hates you mode, where they immediately start shooting you, and I'm like, I don't want to do this right now. I don't want to play that right now, because everyone has guns, and this is America, and I don't want to fucking deal with that. I only have a shovel and a pickaxe and some crack. I don't want to fucking deal with this right now. I just want to wait in line for the bank, and it's very funny because that game's like, it's only as violent as you want it to be. And I think the only time where I got super violent is when the rednecks kidnapped me and put me in a gimp suit. That's when I literally was like, okay, now it's on site. I literally shot every redneck I ever saw in that game because they knocked me out because I was taking a piss on my dad's grave.
Wow.
Very fun game. Very fun game. Not to mention the Postal Dude's voice is iconic.
I feel also, like there's a lot of shit happening here that's just like, you could take out of context and turn into a sound clip, and it would just be a meme.
Mm-hmm. Hi there, would you like to sign this petition? Look, just sign the fucking petition already.
Didn't Postal 2 get banned in the US for how violent it is?
Nah, it was Manhunt.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Postal 2 got banned in Germany, UK, and Australia.
But not America.
Not America.
Isn't that funny?
Because it didn't actively, like, made you kill people. Because you'll only kill people if you really have to. You could literally play the entire game without killing a single soul.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. The game won't make fun of you for it, but the game will also make fun of you for being an absolute psychopath and killing everyone. The game makes fun of you regardless, so... Yeah.
Just like Duke Nukem.
Mm-hmm.
Duke fucking Nukem. Who would win in a battle to the death, do you think? Duke Nukem or Postal Guy?
Ooh. Duke.
You think so?
Yeah. Because unlike Postal Dude, Duke doesn't smoke crack to gain health.
I didn't know he did that. I've never played a Duke Nukem game, I just know who he is because he's memey.
Yeah.
People memed him to shit, especially after Forever came out, because apparently Duke Nukem Forever was like...
Oh, it was a dumpster fire.
Well, I heard it was bad, but I've also heard that it's bad by today's standards, because the original Duke Nukem games were just like it. It's just that, like, they were good back then, and it's kind of like a bygone era where it came out in a modern day, didn't change anything, and everyone was kind of like, yeah, it's just not funny anymore.
And it was also in production for 12 years.
Yeah. That's probably why it was so, like, outdated by the time it came out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're a kid and the word fart is really funny. And then when you're, like, when you're, like, 17, the word fart doesn't make you laugh, because it's like, yeah, it's just a word, man. It's not funny. It was funny when I was 7.
Right.
You know?
I mean, both Duke Nukem and Postal have pissing mechanics, so...
Yeah. Funny enough.
Mm-hmm.
But in Postal, can you take a handful of your own shit out of the toilet and throw it at people?
We should message Running with Scissors about that.
Are those the guys
And
who
no-
make Postal?
Yeah, they updated their second game that came out in 2007, 2 years ago, with a fucking DLC expansion.
What the
They
fuck?
made it. Yeah,
Why?
because Postal 3 was just that bad. So they updated the second game with a new DLC expansion for like $5 for another whole week in the game. Yeah, same engine, same everything. They got the Postal dude back to do more lines. Fucking great.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. And now we're waiting for Postal 4.
This is a dramatic veer from topic, but Pokemon Legends Arceus, very good. Very
Can
fun.
we use Pikachu as a silencer?
Yo, dude, what if there was a Postal game in the Pokemon universe?
But just playing as a more realistic interpretation of Team Rocket. Got it.
Yo, Nintendo, you listening? Yo, hit us up. We'll make you money.
If not, Running with Scissors, hit us up. We'll mod the game for you.
We'll mod the game for you.
After our Pokeballs, the Postal dude just throws rocks. Killing the Pokemon.
Oh god. It's funny because in Legends Arceus you could literally throw fucking clumps of mud at Pokemon to stun them to give you an opportunity to throw Pokeballs at them.
Playing the Pokemon mod, Postal dude gets an STD. Now that's what we call catch the ball.
Shut
That's
the
out.
fuck up.
That's the type of humor the game will
You
get.
literally just ended Ego Theater with that. We're going back to the main show.
Hell, that would take how to catch them all.
Shut the fuck up.
Now the flowers will grow. Hi there, would you like to sign this petition?
Oh wow, what's the petition?
Well, what was the petition? In
You didn't have a fucking answer prepared for that. You would be horrible at sketch comedy. Wow.
Look, just sign the stupid fucking petition.
My man doesn't know the first rule of sketch comedy. Everyone
Are you
point
gonna-
and laugh.
Are you gonna sign this petition, or is it gonna be your next of kin?
Cringe. Cringe. Imagine threatening somebody to sign your petition. Welcome
did
to
that.
America.
I did that, yeah. The petition in Postal 2 was to make a whiny congressman play violent video games.
That's funny.
Mhm.
Well, who wants to start? on how
I
written.
want to take this character and make it the main event of WWE Raw for how brutally I'm gonna fucking thrash this character.
Bro, they'd sell so many tickets if they advertised a child getting beat up.
He's technically not a
Check
child.
out Charlie, the 6-year-old, take on The Undertaker.
Technically, she's not a child.
I'm like, you know what? I don't condone violence against children, but you have my attention. Yeah. We've covered a lot of points already. I mainly, for this section, I just want to go more in depth on what we talked about in Chapter 2, because that is by far the one and only folly she really has as a character before she's dead, because she's not around past Chapter 3. But it is still a big problem, especially just with the characters in general in Danganronpa 2. I mean, it's kind of obvious in Danganronpa 1 when a character starts getting a lot of development that's, like, not a free time event. It's like, alright, this person's probably going to die or be involved in the next murder somehow.
Right.
Because that's just kind of the trend in Danganronpa 1. So if you know how to, like, catch on to that after, like, the first or second chapter, yeah, you're gonna catch on quick.
Yeah. The first game, Sayaka. Literally nothing but Sayaka.
Yeah, literally all Chapter 1 is, like, spending
Chapter
time
2,
with Sayaka.
Mondo and Taka with a little bit of Chihiro trying to be stronger.
Makoto's like, why do I have to be here with you two again? And they're like, because you won't get any of our character development before we fucking die in the next 2 chapters.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
So
fucking Taka, Hifume, and Select. Yeah, it literally, it's a very... Sakura literally got revealed as the traitor, and then she had a shit ton of character development before she committed seppuku.
Yup. This is the opposite with Hiyoko.
We also cover this with Mahiru too, because Mahiru just got fucking axed.
Yeah. And I mean, we talked about it back in her episode 2. She just kind of gets shafted in terms of development in the whole chapter, because most of the focus goes to Fuyuhiko and all of his bullshit and Peko. Like, they eat up most of the screen time, so Mahiru doesn't get a whole lot of development here. Which is unfortunate,
Hiyoko,
because she had a really good character, like, base. She had a lot of potential, and it's a shame that we don't get to see more of it. She doesn't even really get that much in Danganronpa 3 that I could have, like, added to it. Not that we really look at that in comparison anyway. But, yeah.
And unfortunately, she's also teamed up with the fucking gremlin of the entire franchise.
That's part of what I like about her character, is that everyone else, much like myself, was very, like, get away from me, gremlin child. As soon as Hiyoko started speaking, because she's just a bitch. So everyone else naturally disliked her, which made sense, because she was just senselessly mean. Mahiru took the time to, like, be nice to her, and they ended up being, like, very close. I guess I don't want to say very close. It seems more like just, like, Hiyoko's just like, oh, thank you so much for being so nice to me, unlike all these other fucking bastards. And Mahiru's just kind of, like, cringing and is like, yeah, no problem.
It's like, we never get to ask Mahiru's side of the story, so we only have Hiyoko's side.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even know how much, like, Hiyoko meant to Mahiru, because Mahiru died first, so...
Yeah.
We don't even know, like, Mahiru's side. If you ask me, because of the stuff we got, it was very parasitic. It was a very parasitic relationship.
But
it wasn't like...
It's nice. It's a nice little shade to Mahiru's character, that she was, like, the only person who took the time to, like, actually be nice to Hiyoko.
Right.
And it's really the only shade we get to see, because she fucking dies. But this, funny enough, opens up a great door of potential for Hiyoko now. And this is kind of where, like, Tenko was going in Danganronpa V3.
Right.
Where the bitchy character has this, like, moment in her development where she says, I've been a bitch, I need to be better.
And she did this before even the murders happened. She was actively trying to make things better before shit actually hit the fan.
Mahiru was important to Hiyoko. Even if Hiyoko wasn't as important to her, is irrelevant in this point, because it's... What matters is that Mahiru was important to Hiyoko. And Mahiru fucking dies. And I'm pretty sure Hiyoko literally had a moment where she said, I'm going to be better for Mahiru. It might not have been worded that exact way, but it was essentially what she said.
It was something at the end. It was something at the end of the class trial in Chapter 2.
Yeah.
And then Chapter 3 starts and she just doubles down.
Yeah. Not to mention that even after everything you learn about Peko and Fuyuhiko, she is, like, relentlessly mean to Fuyuhiko from that point on. Because she blames him wholeheartedly, even though it was pretty much all Peko at that point. Like, Fuyuhiko didn't even want to kill Mahiru. Pekka literally just stepped in and said, "Oh, you're making him sad," and just fucking gave her the bonk.
Yeah, and then and I'm pretty sure she wanted Fuyuhiko to literally bleed out and die whenever he did the harakiri.
Oh yeah, she was very threatening to him. Also, she, like, literally was fucking hostile on levels way above anything she had towards Econ.
It was like Bloods versus Crips on site sort of hostility.
Yeah. And this is my problem, is because she doesn't feel like she's learned anything.
Right.
Instead of trying to forgive Fuyuhiko or working through that or anything of the sort, she just doubles down on being mean, because now she's even meaner, because now she has a reason for being mean.
Ironically, it's literally Hiyoko has not learned the lesson of, like, can you just picture it through Fuyuhiko's eyes? Fuyuhiko literally lost the love of his life in this entire incident.
Yeah.
For something that he couldn't control. Meanwhile, you also lost someone very close. Not really, I wouldn't say as close as Fuyuhiko.
You both lost people important in this, like, tragic circumstance.
And Fuyuhiko literally tries to make amends and changes a better person. Hiyoko literally doubles down and doesn't change anything. She becomes stagnant. She doesn't evolve as a character. Literally Fuyuhiko literally becomes the best character in the series. One of the best characters in the second game, because he evolves, he changes, he grows as a character, he learns his mistakes, and he, like, powers through and troopers on. Hiyoko doesn't do that. She stagnates. She literally sits there, blames everyone else for, like, all the situation that's going around them. Which, granted, she's technically right to blame people for the situation because she had no control over it.
Yeah.
But same thing with Fuyuhiko. He had no control over that situation whatsoever.
Yeah. He changes and evolves and becomes a better character given what he's learned. He goes through character development. Hiyoko goes through pretty much the exact same thing, but she regresses, Instead of changing, she just becomes a worse version of the character she already was, and she wasn't really that appealing to begin with, because, again, there was no point behind her. And it's like, if you're that early in the game, it's like, fine, whatever. Like, we have this same problem with Leon, where he doesn't have a whole lot of personality, but it's like he doesn't really need it, because he wasn't meant to be that. He was meant to be the first killer that you don't talk too much, who's gone early, so he didn't need a ton of detail, and that's fine.
And he set up the entire emotional, like, baggage of what the executions are going to be like. Because that left a very strong first impression.
Yeah. He has reasons for being there that are important to the structure of the story.
Right.
Does he suffer in the personality department for that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
But he has other areas where he's, like, a positive force in the story.
Right.
Hiyoko doesn't even have that.
He's a necessary evil.
It's literally like on the writing room, it's literally like, well, what are we going to do for his personality? And they're like, well, unless they talk to him in free time events, they're not going to learn that much about him anyways, because he's going to be gone pretty much immediately.
Right.
So it's like they put a lot of work into other details, like the execution. They set the bar for what you could expect going forward. That's literally all he was. He was just the first Blackened to give you an idea of what to expect in the next, like, chapters.
Yeah.
Hiyoko, I feel like any character in the Danganronpa series who is going to be gone after Chapter 1 does not need a ton of development, because they're not going to be around that much. It's nice to have that extra detail where you can put it in. I mean, look at V3. The first person gone is Kaede and Rentaro. Rentaro has some good personality. He doesn't have anything else going for him, really, besides his design and shit, because he's gone almost immediately. But Kaede has a ton of, like, personality. She has a ton of great shit. You get to know her so well because you're literally playing as her right up until she's fucking gone. And it sucks. But Shuichi is the better protagonist, I'm sorry to say. But my point still stands, is that, like, that paid off super well, because even though she was the first, like, Blackened, quote unquote, you still got to learn about her. You got to see her change and evolve. She had her own little arc before she was gone. And it's just so well done.
And let me be clear.
My problem here is that Leon does not get... Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Leon does not get that level of detail. It's the first game. Fine. He doesn't need it. He sets the bar. He does good things from a writing perspective. It's fine. Who's the first in fucking
Teru and the Ultimate Imposter.
Yeah. Imposter has a lot of interesting shit going on because you think it's Togami. Teru has enough character going on. His breakdown gives you more backstory, gives you more reason behind it.
He stayed just long enough to not be annoying.
Yeah. He didn't overstay his welcome because he was definitely going to be annoying if he lived another chapter. He was going to get old very quick with the sex jokes. And it's like, that's fine. He was fun while he was around. He didn't overstay his welcome. You get to learn more about him than you did about Leon. He was justified in his actions, and unfortunately, he still died for it because he was trying to stop Nagito. But I mean, that's still my point. Is that like Hiyoko was around for 3 chapters, and she did not change a bit. She got worse, and then she died.
Right. And I know some people are going to make the argument where, like, well, sometimes people in real life realistically don't change like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Realism does not
true.
equate to good storytelling. Good storytelling.
Also
Because
true.
if you do everything realistically, you're going to have a bland, boring adventure.
I mean,
your characters.
You want your characters to be realistic, and when you're writing human people like this, you want them to react accordingly.
I don't want to say realistic.
Danganronpa is anime.
You want. Oh, hold up, Bill. You don't want your characters in the setting like Danganronpa that's already like super fantasy. It's not like super sci-fi tech, like very out there, outlandish. You don't want your characters to be like realistic. You want your characters to be grounded for the scenario that you've written themselves to be in.
There you go.
Because if you start writing like realistic characters in like fantasy settings, people are going to be. It's going to be the most boring D&D session you're going to ever play in your life. Let's be frank.
Yeah. That's essentially where I was going. Also,
it's literally a joke in in the what's it called, the text to speech Emperor text to speech in the 40K thing. It was literally a joke. There's a guy named Rogel Dorn. He takes everything super literally. He's super plain and super like to the point, just steadfast, a boring person. But that's the joke, because in this land of like incredibly like a god man on the throne that speaks with a text-to-speech option, everyone else literally JoJo characters, everything like outlandish thing. He's funny because he's deadpan. And literally when they were doing the D&D session for one of those shorts, he was given a brief moment to be the D&D host, and literally was like, you are in the village of village, and you guys are farmers of the farm.
His whole thing is how boring and standard he is compared to the world around him.
And then he's literally like, wait for the next season for the crops to go and gather your harvest. So I'm like, yes, that is super hyper realistic, boring as sin, and it was told as a joke, and that's the joke.
It's like Saitama being incredibly fucking overpowered in the world of One Punch Man.
Right.
Doing the most like whatever fucking workout routine. So,
like, granted, people who try actually doing that workout routine, they said literally your calf muscles will explode.
It is literally physically impossible to do Saitama's workout routine. You will destroy your body before you even get through like a week of it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she just, and like I keep saying, this is a problem that multiple characters have in Danganronpa 2, and we'll get to them later, but specifically Akane does not fucking learn a thing, and she has the opportunity to, and she just doesn't
change. No one changes, and fucking
she gets like shades that she's gonna like go through like proper character development, and then they just bring Nekomaru back from the dead, and then she just regresses back to being Akane, and then they kill Nekomaru again, and she's like regresses and like is about to evolve again as a character with the same thing, and then they bring Nekomaru back.
Minimaru.
Yeah, they bring us fucking Minimaru, and she just stays boring and Akane for the rest of the game after that, because Minimaru's not gonna die. Sonya, I think, has a similar issue, but her issue is more so that she's just, you could literally take her out of Danganronpa 2 and nothing would really change.
Yeah.
So,
That's why we say Soda's the best of one of the survivors. Literally the third best in the survivors. Think about that for
Soda's just kind of there.
But he actually does a lot of things in the story.
He has important, like, minor stuff, like Mikan being important in investigations because she can do the autopsies. Like, Soda's kind of in that same boat where he's, like, useful in the, like, small stuff, but he doesn't, like, have any major involvement in the actual story. He's just kind of present. And he's just kind of across the board, like, fine. And I think that's what just makes him a good character in this game, is that he doesn't have any, like, major strengths. Like, he doesn't have anything wild like Fuyuhiko, but he doesn't have anything, like, bland and bad like Hiyoko either, so he's just kind of good.
He's supposed to be your dude bro that's really lame.
Yeah. So, he's just nice to have around. I liked picking on him. Literally every time he spoke when I was playing the game, I said, "Shut up, Soda." Because most of the shit that came out of his mouth was thirsting over Sonya or just, like, pointless nonsense. And I was just like, Soda?
Or mechanical jargon.
Yeah. So.
Fuyuhiko's your actual dude, bro.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've pretty much covered Hiyoko's writing quality. It's, TLDR. It's not good.
No.
If you're gonna write a story, you need your characters to grow. You need them to evolve. They need to change. They need to learn something. They need to learn their lesson. They need to change for the better. Or the worse. If you're writing a villain, maybe they change for the worse. But there needs to be reasoning behind it. There needs to be payoff. Hiyoko has no payoff. She's just mean for no reason, and the 1 inch of character growth that she does get just makes her worse instead of making her better. Imagine if she tried to reconcile with Fuyuhiko and she kind of struggled with it before she died, and, like, before she gets murdered, they have a scene where they kind of, like, are like, you know what, you're alright. And, like, it's not much. Like, it's the beginning of what could be at least respect for each other, and then she dies. That would be fine. At that point, we would not be sitting here talking about how awful she is, because she would have development, she would have growth, she would have redemption, she'd have something.
It's literally like, well, she was a bitch at the start, but at least she tried to change.
Yeah, like, that's something. And it would make her death more meaningful to characters like Fuyuhiko, where it's like, she was like, it sucks that she's dead because she was like, you know, there was a shade of an actual human being in there that we got to see right before she died. Like, there would be more impact on Fuyuhiko. There'd be impact on the other characters, especially if she was presently in front of all of them, trying to change and be better.
But as it stands, you ever seen the movie Surf's Up? Slight tangent.
No. I mean, I have, but never from start to finish. The movie always looked really boring to me.
There's a scene where Cody, the guy Shia LaBeouf plays as the main penguin dude, is a surfer, and he's like saying, "I'm a very good surfer, and I'm trying to learn the best I can." And his older brother in the background is as he's talking about his surfing skills, is him doing a whistle, and it's the plane going down, and he goes,
"Oh yeah, he's doing like the whoo."
That's how I feel about Hiyoko's character development. It literally does not go up. It just goes down and down and down until she dies and then fucking blows up.
You have to have payoff. There has to be reasons behind everything. Writing cannot be this simple, otherwise it will just be bad. You can make it simple. Not everything has to be overly detailed, but those things need to be, like I said with Leon, he didn't need all that detail in his personality because he was there for a different reason, writing-wise. He was there to set the bar for executions. He was there to be the first killer. That was literally his whole point for existing, and there was a reason for it, and it's fine.
Same thing with the imposter in this game. He was there to set up a mystery around the imposter.
He was there for... I mean, his twist doesn't even really add anything other than the fact that Togami's not actually dead, and that there was just some guy pretending to be him. But it's like... It's still something. Rantaro is basically the same. In V3, you learn almost nothing about him, and he's like very mysterious and acts like he's going to be around for a while, and then he's just gone. So like...
But there's a huge-ass mystery surrounding Rantaro, though.
And he comes back in a big way later, instead of just like Chiaki and Hajime finding a folder that's like, imposter, and then the rest of it's just blank, because that's his whole thing, is that no one knows anything about who he really is.
Right.
So it's like, oh, okay. So that wasn't Togami. Gotcha. That's all you really learn. But I mean, even that is like something, I guess. And the fact that like when you go back, you can find shades of like real imposter there that isn't pretending to be Togami, and it's still kind of fun because it's Togami, but that's still something, you know.
It feels like Togami after Danganronpa 1, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just rough, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough that so many characters in this game don't get proper development.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like most of the people who are Akane fans especially are either horny or they just like her in the anime. She has a lot of character in the anime, I will say, but she is as boring. She is a worse version of Hina in Danganronpa 2.
Mm-hmm.
Hina is fine.
Yeah.
She's
Hina
not extravagant. She's not amazing as a character. She's not bad. She's just middle of the road good.
She's also connected to the muscle head of the entire group.
Yeah. Akane is just a dumber, bigger boobed Hina with a less specific talent.
Right.
So, you heard it here first. I'm sure it's been said 1,000 times. I'm sure. You know what's funny? Quick tangent. I was on Twitter the other day. I know, huge mistake. Stay with me here. There is a person that I follow who is the girlfriend of a top Smash player, and she is also a big Danganronpa fan. And I saw a bunch of people in her replies on one of her tweets about Danganronpa talking about how the games are all shit, but the characters are great. Like, good character design, bad story, is basically what everyone was saying. And I was like, I don't know if they all like really pay attention to the writing, or maybe they just played 1 and 2 and they hate V3. 1 is pretty solid for a first entry. 2 is like a worse version of 1. V3 is like good, like real good.
Right.
So, but
also, how can you have a bad story but great characters? Does it like literally a story is built on character interactions?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you know, there's good character design, but maybe they think the whole like hope despair thing is pretty dumb. Which, to be fair, realistically speaking, it's very dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't disagree. I was like, yeah, that can be pretty true. That's pretty accurate, actually. I don't think the story overall is bad. I don't think it's great. I think it could be better.
Right.
I think V3 does a good job of like taking what's there and turning it into something fantastic.
Right.
1 obviously sets the like foundation. I think 2 added a lot of like memorable characters. I think 2 is literally the epitome of them saying like good characters, bad story. Because a lot of the character designs in Danganronpa 2 pretty good. Even Hiyoko, she's got great design. She stands out. She's got good colors. There's the weird growth spurt she has, like, randomly in the fucking canon, where she just grows, like, 3 whole feet and doesn't look like a child anymore. She looks like an actual fucking, like, you know, like the rest of them, like a normal character. I don't know why that's there. I think it's just to appease the fucking people thirsting over her that don't want to thirst over a child. But, I don't know. I don't thirst over even her older form.
Because
she just makes me mad
thirst
when
over
I look
her.
at her.
I have a thirst for her older form and her smaller form with a baseball bat.
Hello, 911. Yes, he's right here, officer.
Murders in progress, please help.
God.
I'm literally that guy from, like, American Psycho with the axe just getting ready to come.
Patrick Bateman.
Yeah.
I don't think we really need to talk about Impact, because there isn't any. She's just a bitch and then she dies. Like I was saying, she could have had impact if she would have attempted to change, or if she did change, because then there would have been she would have like turned opinions from the other characters and possibly even the player on her, and then she would have died. I hated Tenko in V3 when we first started playing because I was like, oh, you're another Himiko type. You're just going to say degenerate male and make that dumb face every 5 seconds, which she did for about the first chapter and a half. And then she started to grow. And then by chapter 3, when she fucking died, I was sad because she was going somewhere as a character, and I really wanted to see it. But unfortunately, Kyo is a character that exists in this franchise also, unfortunately. And he had to kill her.
Seesaw.
And like, this goes right back to the same points we made, because Tenko has impact when she dies on Himiko. Because Tenko and Himiko had a very intertwining arc. And by the end of Tenko's time in the game, she was very involved with Himiko as a character. And when she was gone, it affected Himiko, and it made Himiko a better character for it. Even if it didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to, that I think would have been better, it was still something. And it's way better than what happened with Himiko and Mahiru. So, it's like if instead Himiko died in V3, and instead of becoming a better character for it, Tenko just doubled down on the degenerate male thing, blamed Shuichi for it, was even meaner to him than she was at the beginning, and then fucking died.
I mean, considering who would be doing the murder, that one, would you blame her?
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. But I also wouldn't be surprised if she was just like, you know what, Shuichi, you were right. You are a shitty detective. You couldn't even figure out it was fucking Kyo before he killed Himiko. I can't fucking believe this happened.
I mean, yeah, that's actually an actual proper way to do a character regression.
Yeah.
Because it's the protagonist fucking up, and
if she can't take it out on the actual killer, she'll take it out on the guy who caught the killer. It's like, why couldn't you catch him sooner?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that even makes sense.
Yeah, that would be proper character regression.
Hiyoko's makes sense too, because she's primarily targeting Fuyuhiko, but she's still just as mean to everyone else as she was at the beginning before Mahiru died. So I mean, it doesn't feel like anything's changed. It just feels like she's meaner than she was before.
It's more like if we do that in that scenario, because I don't like rewriting things. It's just really weird for me. But it's like Hiyoko is a stagnant line that has a big drop down.
Yeah.
In like character development, Tenko starts at the bottom, but she has like a bell curve arc. And if it was
she just kind of has like a really good like slow burn upwards.
Yep. And then if we do this hypothetical situation where if Himiko was the one who got killed, Tenko regressed, it would have done like a bell curve. It
would have been unfortunate to see her like change that way, but it would have still made sense from a writing perspective, and it's something that I think is believable for her character.
Right.
I can understand Hiyoko
just
being a bitch.
She trusted us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when she thought that there was something wrong with Himiko and like Angie was to blame, like you were the one she came to. She went to Shuichi because she was desperate. She was like, I don't know who else to turn to. No one else will listen to me. I need you to like help me. You know? And if Himiko ended up fucking dying from that, yeah, of course she would blame Shuichi. You were her like last hope, and you failed her.
And when we take this hypothetical scenario, say instead of Himiko, it was Fuyuhiko who died. Granted, that would suck really bad in this story if Fuyuhiko died in Chapter 3 after getting all that fucking character growth. But humor me for a second. Do you picture Hiyoko like doing anything in the trial instead of just doubling down, literally saying, "Good, Fuyuhiko's fucking dead. He killed fucking," and it would just.
If he straight up was the one who killed Mahiru, yeah, no, she wouldn't fucking let up on him.
No, I was saying if Fuyuhiko was literally killed in Hiyoko's place, what would her interactions in the trial?
You mean post-chapter? You mean in Chapter 3? Yeah, no. Yeah. She definitely would not have... She would have the same reaction to him dying that we have to her dying.
Right.
She'd be like, oh, thank God he's fucking gone.
Right. And literally just everyone would just literally be throttling her at that point because... And I just like literally... It'd be interesting. I think Also, Hiyoko would have made the Mikon reveal a lot worse because she would have just quadrupled down on Mikon for
Yeah,
no
she just would have
reason.
gone even harder on being mean to Mikon. Because now
Yeah.
she's justified in doing it because Mikon's a killer.
And then because she was justified in quadrupling down on Mikon, that would have just fed into her being a bitch and being a bitch 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been interesting, at the say the least. But then again, we're rewriting the story for the writers, so
We're rewriting it for a hypothetical to make a point.
yeah.
I mean, we could do that all day with a ton of other characters. We talked already about how, like, Chapter 3 and Danganronpa V3 could have gone so much better than it did. But, at least in my opinion, I think it's fine as is, but I think it could have been better.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. We're running a little long here, but the bottom line is that Himiko has no point behind anything, and that's just what makes her not good. Because even Tenko has, like, reasons behind her actions. Fuyuhiko has reasons behind his. If Tenko would have been the one to regress and be mean to Shuichi, there's reasonings behind her being a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Himiko just shows up at the beginning of 2 and is a bitch, and she just does not get better. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's justified in her being mean to Fuyuhiko after Mahiru dies, sure. But it's like there was never any, like, point or explanation for it beforehand either, other than that's just
And she's
how
still
she is.
being mean to Mikon.
Yeah. So nothing's changed. So. We're gonna move into trivia, because we're running a little long here. She doesn't have a whole lot of trivia. So.
Thank God.
Saionji translates to Western Garden Temple, while Hiyoko means child who brings forth day. That's cool.
A day of my head.
I like the meanings behind a lot of their names in Japanese.
To the Japanese culture, Dylan.
Yeah. Hiyoko is also the Japanese word for chick, as in a baby bird. This association connected to Hiyoko's name matches her childish, innocent-looking appearance, as well as her hair color, which also has a chick print on her kimono located just above the sash. Coincidentally, there is also bean jam-filled steamed buns representing a chick from a brand named Hiyoko Sweets. Whether this was intentionally reflecting Hiyoko's sweet tooth or not is unknown.
That seems like a coincidence.
Yeah. It's nice how there's fun little, like, trivia behind their names like that.
Right.
In original Japanese, she's known as the super high school level Buyoka, or a master of Buyo dance. Is it Buyo or Buyu? I don't know. It's an O with a line above it, so that means it's a long sound, right? I don't know. I probably said it wrong. I'm not good at pronouncing Japanese shit, man.
Yeah.
Buyu dance is a traditional form of Japanese art that combines the act of moving to a rhythm and dancing. Okay. It just sounds like dancing to me, but I mean, I don't know anything about this kind of dance, so I don't know what I should be picturing. Hiyoko has a bit of a sweet tooth. She mostly eats gummies. However, she never eats yellow gummies due to her dislike of sour food. In her report card, it states that she eats flour candies and Japanese sweets.
Okay.
Hiyoko possibly enjoys playing Professor Layton, a mystery-solving game, and Pokemon, a game where you collect monsters called Pokemon. Because when Monokuma was introducing the Twilight Syndrome murder case, Hiyoko states that she wants to play games about riddle-solving professors and collecting cute monsters. Fun. I don't remember her saying that.
Mainly because we groan every single time she opens up her fucking mouth.
Yeah, that probably was it. In the Despair Arc TV series, when Chiza goes from her stock memory of the short Hiyoko she knew up to the more grown-up one, a growth sound effect similar to the one in Super Mario can be heard. That's really fucking dumb. I love it. Hiyoko's Japanese voice actress, Suzuko Mimori, also voiced Kiriko in Danganronpa 3 Despair Arc. Very cool. Hiyoko's English voice actress, Kira Buckland, also voices Kirimi Tojo in Danganronpa V3. That's cool. I don't think I knew that. I knew that they have a lot of the same voice actors.
Oh, no, I knew that immediately, because I'm good at picking up voices.
Yeah. I knew there were a lot of the same voice actors, like Fuyuhiko also voices, the guy who voiced Fuyuhiko also voices Kokichi. Yeah, like, I knew a lot of that. I don't think I knew this one. So that's cool. That's it for her trivia, though. So. Well. Jer, any final thoughts on Miss Hiyoko Saionji?
My disappointment is immeasurable.
And my game is ruined. Oh god. What are we rating her?
We know what we're rating her, Dylan.
Yeah, we know. I just wanna stick with tradition and ask you anyway.
The one, the only rating,
probably the only character in all of Nonstop Debate that is going to get a 0 from both of us.
Yep. Nothing redeeming. Literally could cut her out of the plot. Literally nothing would have happened and changed.
Yeah. She has little bits of potential here and there, but
not enough.
Not enough for us to really consider anything redeeming.
We demand rewrites, we demand reshoots, and we demand retooling.
Yeah.
Because this is thing.
Like we said, all you had to do in Chapter 3 before she died was make her, like, attempt doing better. That's literally all you had to do, and all these problems would be gone.
And people are going to point out, like, well, she need help with the kimono. She literally didn't even ask for help. She literally told everyone to say, go fuck off and go away.
She literally just, like, dealt with it until people started saying she smelled bad because she didn't bathe. And the only reason she didn't bathe was because she didn't want to take her kimono off because she wouldn't be able to put it back on. So instead of just asking for help, she just stunk.
Did you just call kimono a kimono?
Isn't it kimono?
It's kimono.
I've already established I'm not good at pronouncing Japanese shit, alright? Leave me alone.
Dylan gets a 0 out of 10 for his Japanese cultural linguistics.
I get a 0 out of 10 for fucking existing. Well, we will be back hopefully next week. We're on a pretty good streak right now. We will hopefully be back next week to do Mekon. Wrap up Chapter 3.
I won't take drugs this time to make it so I'm a little bit more awake. Because
we don't have to worry about your blood pressure when we're talking about Mekon because she's an actually interesting character.
Until we talk about the plot hole, then my blood pressure will spike. But
well, yeah. But that's a small moment where we just gotta monitor it. This was a whole episode's worth. That would have taken way too much time.
Like Leon needed I needed a stiff drink to talk about Leon because there was nothing to talk about, so I needed to get my mind off.
I love how you started that with Leon needs a stiff, and then you paused, and then you started it the right way.
Yeah. I am fighting sleep like a bitch right now. Mainly because, oh my god, do I really needed to take I needed to do this because if I was allowed to do this full blast, I would have woken up my parents, and that's not going to be no bueno.
Yeah.
Currently for me, it's 2:10 a.m.
Yeah. So, before we go, Risk of Rain 2, Railgunner, hype. Fucking Risk of Rain 2 video is hopefully going to come out in the weeks leading up to DLC release, and then expect fucking Railgunner and whoever the other fucking new guy is videos shortly after. Gonna be Pog. I'm hyped. DLC looks fucking cracked.
Expect Paladin's video Friday, regardless. If we get our buddy Keenan on the thumbnail, we'll probably do a double upload Friday.
Maybe. I still don't know if we should do double uploads. We have a hard enough time just keeping a backlog in general.
Damn it.
We'll
see. Let me do this full time.
Just do the Paladins on Friday, and I'll start the Risk of Rain videos the week after. That way Keenan has more time to get the thumbnails ready.
But then what if I go on an editing streak and I'd be like, let's do it every Monday through Friday, new video every upload.
I don't think we have enough manpower to be able to post videos daily. We would need like a team of editors for that, just so we could focus on recording.
Right.
So, yeah.
You don't understand my resolve.
God.
I need alcohol. I need a comfy pillow.
All right.
I need to edit a postal picture for the fucking. I got an idea for that one though, but that will be easy. So.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. There you go. I think you're probably gonna have to make a thumbnail thing too. We'll figure it out. In the meantime,
could be last time where I just forget to give you a thumbnail.
Yeah. When the Ibuki video went live for like 4 or 5 hours with no proper thumbnail, yeah, that was fun.
I'm probably going to shield this out to the Danganronpa Reddit.
Like they give a fuck what we think about Hiyoko. Everybody hates Hiyoko, except for like 2 whole people who think it's funny when she trashes Mikon.
Hey Dylan, that mindset got me 1.2k on video views on the Jacko video.
So that's different. That's Guilty Gear. There's a lot of people who play Guilty Gear, whether they like Jacko or not. This is different. This is Danganronpa. You're gonna upload this podcast episode. You're gonna be like, we hate Hiyoko, and they're gonna be like, yeah, we do too.
Unless we find the Hiyoko defenders on Reddit, then that's gonna be fun.
Like they're gonna give a fuck. Unless they come here and put angry comments in the video. I can hear 2 whole keyboards clicking right now, bro. It's crazy.
It's gonna be fun. Even if it's just gonna be 2 people, you know how much I love talking to people and debate matters. It's gonna be fun.
Don't bully them too hard, please. We need people to come back and watch more.
Now if they join our server, that's gonna be very fun.
Yo, the debate octagon gonna get used. Let's go. Good.
My special timeout corner. I've been itching for a bitchin'. I'm tired of sending Dustin into the timeout corner.
Just for fun.
Just for fun, yeah.
Let's send Joey in there right after he's done listening to this podcast.
Oh, fuck it. I'm sending him in right now.
Yo! Get fucked, Joey. Good night, everybody.
He's not gonna know until tomorrow afternoon after he watches this video.